Alright guys, so week 3 of the NFL season is already upon us. We are done with week 2, which means we have moved on. That was the past, even though it was yesterday. But it's kind of hard to believe we're already 2 weeks through the NFL season. It feels like it was just yesterday when the season started. But regardless, that means it's time for our week 3 predictions. We've done this the first 2 weeks. The first week, it was an absolutely pathetic performance by me. I went 5-11. But as you will see at the end of this video, if you're able to stick around, we did a lot better in week 2 this past week. But before we do that, we're going to do what we do every week. We're going to go through every week 3 matchup, and I'll give you who I think is going to win the game and who I think will cover the spread. Make sure to comment your opinions as always. But with that being said, guys, you know the drill. Hopefully, maybe by this point, let's start with our first game, a Thursday night matchup between the Steelers and the Browns in Cleveland. Guys, I think this is the swan song for the great Mitchell Trubisky. The Steelers have already, we already knew that Trubisky can't really do much. He's been kind of not throwing the ball further than a yard, and he's just been check down Mitch. Steelers offense predictably has not looked good. The writing's on the wall for him. It's basically Kenny Pickett time, but they don't want to start him on a short week, so they'll start him this game. The Browns will win, cover the spread, and then Tomlin's going to go to Kenny Pickett. I'm sorry, I know the Browns had an embarrassing loss to the New York Football Jets, but they'll bounce back. They're at home. Their defense is too good for Mitch Trubisky to do anything, and I wouldn't trust him for a second. I'm sorry, Mitch. So Brissett and company and the man Nick Chubb and the rest of the Browns, Myles Garrett, all of them, they should win in Cleveland, and I'm going to take them to cover the -4.5 spread. Mitch, it was nice knowing you, but we move on to our Sunday matchups. Baltimore Ravens at New England Patriots. What happened to the Ravens this last Sunday? I think, well, after the Cardinals and Raiders, the best game of the week. Alongside that, you can argue which one was better, but Ravens and Dolphins, an absolute classic. The Ravens defense, it's in shambles. How do you let Tua turn the ball over, throw 6 touchdowns, and throw for 469? I don't know. Lamar and the offense has looked great. The defense, not so much. But I think they'll bounce back and beat the Pats, whose offense is still kind of questionable. And their defense is good, obviously. It's Belichick. But I just don't see them containing the Ravens offense. So I think the Ravens will win this game and cover the spread and beat the 1-1 Pats. We move on to maybe the matchup of the week. Bills and Dolphins, 2-0 teams. I think clearly the 2 best teams in the AFC East. Both looked phenomenal this past week. Both looked phenomenal this season, the first 2 games in general. And it's in Miami, so man, what a matchup. The Bills are favored at -5.5. The Bills basically look like they're in a class of their own, but going on the road into Miami, it's going to be tough to replicate the dominance they've displayed the first 2 weeks. So we'll see, but I'm not going to always go chalk, guys. Sometimes you got to go bold. I will go with the Dolphins to win this game, but I'll go with the Bills. Or no, I'm sorry. If the Dolphins win this game, they're obviously going to cover the spread at +5.5. So let's make it interesting. I'm going to take the Dolphins. At home, they look really good. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Tua, that trifecta right there, it looked really good last week. And at home, I think they have what it takes to surprise some people. We move on to the Bengals and Jets. If you would have told me that the Jets have a better record than the Bengals at any point in the space-time continuum this season, I would have told you to go see someone. But here we are, the 1-1 Jets who pulled off the ridiculous, improbable comeback against the Browns, and the 0-2 Bengals who just lost to Cooper Rush in Jerry's world. They're 0-2. Their offensive line somehow looks worse than last year. I didn't know that was possible. But regardless, I mean, the Bengals can't go 0-3. They're too good. They'll find a way. I know, albeit they don't look nearly as good as last year. I will take the Bengals here in a bounce-back spot, and I'll take them at -4.5 because the Jets, it's still Joe Flacco. He might offer one great game a year, but you can't rely on him consistently. So I'll believe it when I see it. I need to see more from them, and I need to see more negativity from the Bengals before I truly believe they're not a good team. So I will go with the Bengals in this bounce-back opportunity in East Rutherford, New Jersey, playing the Jets. Then we move on to the Saints and Panthers. The Saints looked pretty good week 1. Their offense did not look good at all last week against Tom Brady, and albeit the elite Bucs defense. So here they are in Carolina against a Panthers team that lost back-to-back heartbreakers, really close games. I think the Panthers are better than 0-2, so I think even though the Saints are favored here, as they should be with a great defense and pretty good offense, I mean, Michael Thomas has looked pretty good, I will take the Panthers to win this game and cover. Obviously, if they win, they're going to cover if they're the underdog. I think it's a good get-right spot for Baker Mayfield. I just don't think the Panthers are an 0-3 team. So at home, I think it's a good spot for them to win. Maybe a breakout game from McCaffrey, even though he was pretty solid last week. And the receivers, they have a good offense here. And at home, it really helps them being at home versus in the wild Superdome of New Orleans being an opposing team. It's very tough. It's a night and day difference. So I will take the Panthers to win that game in a slight upset. We have the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. The Lions suddenly look like one of the more exciting teams in the league. I love it. It's been so much heartbreak and disappointment for the Lions fan base. So to see them actually be pretty solid, especially with their offense that's been amazing. Great offensive line. Jared Goff, don't make fun of him, at least not for now. Amon-Ra St. Brown, that guy is so good, okay? This Lions team excites me, and you know what? I'm going to go with the Vikings. I just think it's a good get-right spot for them at home. They play way better at home. Kirk Cousins looks like Kurt Cousins on the road, but at home he looks like the second coming of Tom Brady or something, as they did in week 1. So I think they'll get right here, but it should be a great game. Would not rule out the Lions, and I'll take them to cover the spread. I think this will be a close and exciting game, but man, Kirk did look horrible yesterday on Monday Night Football, so he just proves that he's not consistently that guy, but 1 week off seemingly, and then the next week he's back to being good. So I think there's a pretty good chance that happens, but we'll see. Don't count out the Lions. Dan Campbell will have them ready, I'm sure. We have the Chiefs going into Indianapolis to play the Colts. You wouldn't expect the home team Colts, who are probably the favorites to win the AFC South, being +7 at home, even if it's against a 2-0 Chiefs team with the great Patrick Mahomes. But the Colts looked so bad, and I am so happy they did, because my Jags, what a week they had. I mean, Matt Ryan looks washed. Suddenly Carson Wentz looks like the better option. Suddenly Frank Reich might be on the hot seat, and suddenly they might get beat down again. I'm going to take the Chiefs to cover. I need the Colts to show me something before I trust them. They looked so lackluster week 1. They should not have even tied with the Texans. Then they looked pathetic against the Jags, albeit they cannot win a game in Jacksonville, which I love. I love the fact that they can't, but they really can't. So we'll see how they play at home. Maybe they bounce back, but I need to see more. And at this point, Mahomes and company, they don't look like they've lost a beat, and they might beat them down in Indianapolis. We will see. Then we have two surprising 0-2 teams here. We have the Vegas Raiders against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans coming off a horrendous loss just because they looked horrible the whole game. Ryan Tannehill, his days might be numbered. Malik Willis, where are you? I mean, he did appear last game. The Titans don't look as good as we thought, just like the Colts. And as a Jags fan, I'm smiling from ear to ear because this division's actually up for grabs. And the Raiders, I mean, how do you lose that game to the Cardinals? So these are two teams that should be way better, that are coming off really tough losses, that would really love a bounce back. But who's ultimately better right now? The Raiders are favored, and you know what? I'm going to take them to cover because they still look, I think, better than the Titans at this point. I like Derek Carr more than Ryan Tannehill right now, and they probably should have won that game against the Cardinals after being up 20-0. So the Raiders don't look as bad as the Titans, in my opinion. But we'll see. That should be a close game in Tennessee, but I'll take the Raiders to win and cover the spread for now. Eagles and Commanders, this spread actually surprises me. I know the Eagles have looked really good. People are on the Eagles hype train saying that they're one of the best teams in the NFC. Maybe they are. Maybe. I'm not ready to say that. I need to see some more, but they look really good. So I get that they're favored against Washington, who just lost to the Lions. But it's in Washington, and Carson Wentz has looked pretty good. So I will go with the Eagles to win this game, but I'll go with Washington to cover the spread here. I think it'll be a close game, and +6.5, I'll take Washington. They have a good offense for the most part. They've been moving the ball, they've been scoring, but defending, I mean, well, you know, that's a different story. So Eagles win, Washington covers. Then this is a game that, you know, just don't even show it on TV. Just show it on local. I mean, on local radio or something. I'm not watching this game at all, and you better not either, because Texans and Bears, I'm sorry, unless you're a Texans or Bears fan, there's better games out there to watch all the time. Any game, literally, other than this, but I don't know. Who do I pick to win? I mean, this could go either way. This won't be pretty. I'll take the Bears, and I'll take them to cover, because they're at home. I think their defense is better than the Texans, and the Texans on the road, that's even worse than the Texans at home, so we'll go with the Bears. Why not? So then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, my Jacksonville Jaguars, against the LA Chargers in LA. Now, currently, the spread's -7 in favor of the Chargers. Makes a lot of sense. They're a great team. Great offense, great defense. We all know that. But I'm curious to see whether Justin Herbert and or Keenan Allen suit up this week, so that could heavily change the spread. But as of now, I'm going to assume that Justin Herbert plays. He has a rib injury right now. I think he toughs it out and plays. We will see. As much as I am biased and want my Jags to win, and they looked great last week, I'm very encouraged, I will go with the Chargers to win this game. But you know what? I'm going to take the Jags to cover the spread. I think they impressed some people this game. I would not rule out a victory. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'll take them to... Okay, you know what? I'll take the Chargers to cover the spread. I'm sorry. You know what? I can't be that biased. But still, don't underestimate the Jags. But I'm going to say they lose by like 10 points. They'll keep it relatively close. But let's just keep it safe for now and say that the Chargers win and cover. But again, Jags could cover, Jags could win. It would not be the craziest thing ever, because that defense looked really good last week, and the offense, they've been moving the ball, have scored over 20 through the first 2 games. But the Chargers, I think, if they're healthy, they win. Packers and Bucks, a very good matchup. The matchup between two guys who probably have AARP cards at this point, with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. 2 old-ass men. Man, this is a really good matchup. I think... You know what? This is where I'll go bold, because you can't go bold with every matchup like the last one. I'll go bold. I'm going to pick the Packers to win this one in Tampa Bay. Yes, the Bucks look like they might have the best defense in the league, but Aaron Rodgers, he wants to beat Tom Brady just one time, because I don't think he's beaten him anytime recently, but I don't know if he's ever beaten him. Someone back me up. Tell me in the comments, has Aaron Rodgers ever beat Tom Brady? I know Tom has gotten the best of Aaron, but I think this game, Aaron Rodgers is on a mission. They never start the year off well, the Packers do, but they just get better as we go along. I'm going to go bold and say the Packers pull off the upset against the Bucks. Then we have the Battle of the Birds. The Falcons' offense has looked good for the most part, which I expected. Like I said, they have kind of an exciting offense, but their defense, no. And the Seahawks, they came crashing back down to earth like we all assumed, so we have, I don't know, this one could go either way. You know what? I like the Falcons here. I like them to win this game and cover the spread. I think their offense is better than the Seahawks at this point. Defense, I don't know. I don't think either team has a good defense. Seahawks are favored ever so slightly, but I think I'd rather have Marcus Mariota than Geno Smith. But that one could go either way. Not the greatest matchup, but you know what? I'll go with the Falcons. I think they get a win. I don't think they're going to be 0-3. They don't want to be 0-3. Who does, obviously? So then we have a really good NFC West matchup between the Rams and the somehow not 0-2 Cardinals here, who pulled off an amazing, improbable comeback win against the Raiders. It was so fun watching that game. I saw it from start to finish. It was a great time. The Rams have not looked that good this year so far, even though they beat the Falcons. The Falcons are normally the one blowing a 28-3 lead, but it was the Rams who almost blew a 28-3 lead this past week. So they squeaked by the Falcons at home. This is in the desert in Arizona. I'm going to go with the Cardinals to win this one at home. I need the Rams to show me a little bit more. These are 2 1-1 teams. And I know I have a lot of bold calls this week, but what's life without a little bit of risk and a little bit of boldness? So Cardinals win in Arizona. Then we have the Niners and Broncos. Oh, man, the Broncos they have not looked good up to this point. 49ers under Jimmy G now. Unfortunately, Trey Lance is out for the year. But if you're talking about being ready to win right now, the 49ers are probably better equipped if they have Jimmy G. So you know what? I'm going to go with the Niners to win this game on the road. I need the Broncos to show me more. They have not looked good against 2 not good teams, Texans and Seahawks. And even though they beat the Texans, they haven't even scored 20 points. I mean, that offense looks troubled. The coaching, Nathaniel Hackett has not done a good job. Russ has not done the best job. I need to see more. They need to prove to me and something a lot more before I pick them to win. I will take the Niners, who I think look better right now. Then we have that was the Sunday night football game. Then we have, last but not least, the Monday night football game, an NFC East showdown between the first place New York Giants, did I think I would say that in my lifetime, against the Dallas Cowboys, who just beat the defending AFC champions with their backup quarterback. Did I ever think I would say that? No, I'm in shock. But someone has to win this game, and I will go with the Giants. I know Cooper Rush has had good moments in the couple times he started, but this is on the road in New York against a surprisingly good Giants defense up to this point. So I just think right now, the Giants at home, I give them the edge here. They're favored. I'll take them, and I'll take them to cover. I want to see what Cooper Rush can do against this Giants defense on the road. I will take the Giants because I think consistently both weeks they've looked pretty good, especially defensively, like I said. So we will see, but I will go with the Giants. So guys, those are my picks for week 3. And before I end the video, how did we do week 2? So if you guys saw what happened in week 1, I started off an absolutely pathetic 5-11 with my picks, but this week I didn't get that many wrong. The only ones I got wrong were, I said the Panthers would beat the Giants, and the Giants won, obviously. Who would have said the Jets beat the Browns? None of you, okay? Don't even lie about it. But the Jets ultimately won somehow. I got that wrong. I said the Saints would beat the Bucks. I got that wrong. And the only other thing I got wrong was the Cowboys over the Bengals. But everything else, I basically got right. The ones I'm proud of, I said the Jags over the Colts. Yes, sir, I knew it. No bias whatsoever. I said Dolphins over Ravens. This Dolphins team looks special. I said the Lions over Commanders. I mean, I pulled off. I don't know how I did it. I predicted some upsets, some surprising things here. I don't know how I did it. Cardinals over Raiders. I don't know. Again, but still. And the rest, yeah. So I only got 4 wrong, which means this week, you want to talk about an improvement. I go from 5-11 week 1 to 12-4 in week 2. Phenomenal. I'm super happy about that. 75% of the games right. And that brings our total record for the season up to 17-15. We are above 500 after being 6 below 500. We recovered and went above 500 in just 1 week. We made that all up. But guys, that's going to be it for today's video. And let's see how we do. Let's see if we can continue the momentum for week 3. Should be another great week of football. Of course, comment your opinions, comment your picks. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're an NFL fan and you haven't done so already. And I'll see you all in the next one.